a quick clarification, I really try to stay as spoiler free as I possibly can, so I have not looked up what is the supposed leaked script. I just have no interest in doing that. I want to go into it pretty much as blind as I possibly can while coming up with my own fun theories about what I've seen in the trailer. Thank you to the people who requested for me to do this video. I'm always blown away by anybody wanting to know my input, so thank you so much. It'll never be anytime someone suggests a video, I feel very humbled and honored that you would ever care what I think or any of that. So thank you very, very much, guys. Starts off with a beautiful drone shot. That's something that's started very recently. And the guy who actually does the drone in the Dino Fury season, I'm not sure if he's on this project or not. I assume so. But he actually also did drone work for the Rings of Power. These drone shots, man, they give you such a cool, different view. And the Power Rangers is using it more and more. And I think it really adds a lot to it. But we see Billy all by himself against Robo Rita and the Putties. And so at least it starts off with just him. It looks like Zach maybe is the first one to respond to help him. And behind them, you can see the rad bug. And I only really know that from other promotional things I've seen. And it looks like behind them is a cemetery of some sorts. I'm wondering if this is a very holy place that maybe is very sacred to the Rangers or to Billy. Maybe it's where they've buried former Rangers or people who are special to them. I don't know. Maybe it's just a normal cemetery or just some funky looking signs in the back, but it looks like a cemetery. Of course, Rita says, after all these years, I found a new body, which of course is playing off the whole, after 10,000 years, I'm free. Does raise some questions. Turned good by the Z-Wave during In Space, and her and Lord Zed were both turned good. Rita went on to become the Mystic Mother, which was a sort of good witch that was in Mystic Force. The question is, Rita is out there doing good things, using her magic for good. That makes it seem like the Z-Wave didn't actually destroy evil, it just separated evil maybe from these bodies. Now, we have seen in Power Rangers before this sort of thing happen. The Psycho Rangers got defeated during In Space, and then we had an episode where we could see the Psycho Rangers following the Rangers around as ghosts, and they were trying to fight the Rangers, but of course the Rangers don't feel anything because they're all ghosts. They can't even see them. They did find a way to come back to life very shortly, and the Rangers took them out again. Maybe that's what's happened with this, that the good in Rita remained in the body and the evil went out, potentially can still come back. So that means that anybody in the United Alliance of Evil would be fair game to come back. Lord Zed, which I know we have a copy of Lord Zed for Dino Fury, it means that Astronema or Divatox could come back as well. Rita shoots this giant blast at Billy, and of course we get kind of a teaser that makes it look, or we assume, that Trini maybe sacrificed her life to save Billy. Maybe they're trying to throw us off by that, but that's what it definitely looks like. And they make it look like that because they show Zach and Billy taking off their helmets, looking down off of this mountain, and the other Rangers come up, but the only one missing is the Yellow Ranger. Then we see the shot of Min talking to Billy and Zach, and she says she killed Mom. Two really, really big words in this that are really, really important. First of all, she said kill. Power Rangers has never used the word kill except for the 1995 movie, and they used it in the 2017 movie, but they've never, to my knowledge, used the word kill at all in the whole series. So this is a big deal. This is honestly showing a very big maturity shift, that this is not for the little kids necessarily. This is for the longtime fans. But she also says mom. She doesn't say my mom. She looks right at Zach and says she killed Mom. There's been rumors that Zach and Trini are a couple. To me, really makes it seem like they're probably a couple, because why would you say to someone they killed Mom if they're not your dad or your sibling or something like that? The last scene where Zach and Min are in the command center, they do seem like they're very comfortable with each other, unlike maybe just her meeting these Rangers for the first time. So I think maybe the theory of Min being Zach and Trini's daughter holds a lot of water. Now, of course, they tell her that this is Ranger business, which really inferring you shouldn't be involved in this. But we know that Min is definitely getting involved because, first of all, Charlie Kirsch, who plays Min, is an amazing martial artist. She's really outstanding. I have a video all about her career leading up to this, and you can see just how awesome she's going to be in this. If you haven't seen already, please go watch it because she is amazing. I'm honestly probably more excited for her than I am the rest of the special. It's going to be awesome. If Trini truly did sacrifice herself for Billy, This is honestly a very unfortunate, sad story arc for Billy. When Billy started on the team, he was definitely the weakest fighter. Even Kimberly sometimes was a little bit better. I mean, she was a little more athletic than he was, but he really needed Trini to protect him. And even in the second episode, Trini has to overcome her fear of heights to protect Billy because he just can't fend for himself. And after all these years, after 30 years, Trini sacrificing herself to save Billy would really feel like Billy still can't hold his own, even though we know Billy's become a great fighter and he is a great ranger, but it would give him that guilt of, I still can't fend for myself. Trini still had to be there to save me. Again, they might be trying to mislead us, but to me, that really does send just a really sad, depressing note on Billy. And maybe they'll play off of that. Maybe they didn't even think of that, but that's what I think of when I think of Trini sacrificing herself for Billy. We see Rita in some sort of base with this machine behind her, and we see maybe there's some little figures or something on this machine. Now, we've seen pictures already of that machine, and they look like little action figures of Power Rangers. I heard one person say that turning them into action figures and then using their power, and I think that's probably right because I don't know what else she would be doing with some action figures. Hands down, the greatest looking thing in this whole entire trailer is that command center, dude. Oh my gosh, that looks slick. And the location right on the water. Woo, seriously, that is the coolest part. I'm the most excited about that command center. It looks amazing. We get a shot of Billy seeing this machine saying Rita's making a time portal, and you can see very clearly through that portal Rita's dumpster on the moon. So I think Rita's plan is to go back in time, get herself out of the dumpster, and then work together to destroy the Rangers. Or I guess we can say kill now, right? This is the 30th anniversary. Took 30 years, but now we can say kill. Then we get a very clear full view shot of the command center. You see the cracked tube right in the center. The slash point on it, I think meticulously planned out just by the way that Andros slashed the tube in Countdown to Destruction Part 2. Alpha, and it says that he is being voiced by Richard Horowitz, who was the original Alpha voice, which is really, really cool. Last time he voiced Alpha was in the Forever Red episode, actually. And he hadn't done it for a long time, so it's really cool he did that. But that wasn't Alpha 5, that was Alpha 7, I believe. Alpha starts going towards his little station, and he's saying, Rangers, get to your assigned stations. And at the top of it, it says Bandora, which is the original name of Rita from the Sentai version. So that's a little Easter egg for people who are Sentai fans. But we see a couple different location names. We see Coral Harbor, which is from Beast Morphers, and we know from Beast Morphers / Dino Fury that Pine Ridge, which is from Dino Fury, is right next door to that. Reefside from Dino Thunder, we see the Astro Megaship, which of course was in space and Lost Galaxy. We see Turtle Cove, which is from Wild Force, and then Terra Adventure, which technically was destroyed. They all landed on Miranoi, and that's the Lost Galaxy Rangers. Giving a little bit of a teaser that maybe we're going to have a massive legendary battle at the end of this. I would really love to see that because I love Power Rangers. I love it. I love Mighty Morphin. But, man, I'm a fan of the whole entire franchise, man. It's been 30 years. I want to see all the suits, man. I want to see all of them, okay? They're awesome. And it would be so cool if they did this. The legendary battle. It's a bit rough because they were trying to take the Sentai version of it and slicing in some of their own shots with some of the other shots, and there was a lot of problems in it because there were Sentai teams that were never in Power Rangers, kind of in random spots in the background. The whole Tommy arc was a massive issue. At one point we see the Red Turbo Ranger, which is either TJ or Tommy, but then it turns out that's not TJ, so it's got to be Tommy. But then we see the full shot of all the teams, and there's no Red Turbo Ranger, and now there's a Green Ranger. It's a long story, but I would love to see them do a all original legendary battle where we don't get all the random Sentai stuff in there. Not that I don't like Sentai, but I just would like them to do it the right way. Of course, we have Rocky and Kat teleport in. It's really, really great to see these actors come back. We get the morph, they go into the city and they start to fight putties. We see these robot versions of Snizzard, who was originally voiced by Bryan Cranston. I mean, most people know Bryan Cranston as Walter White from Breaking Bad, and he went on to be Zordon in the 2017 movie. Rumors of him coming coming back and doing that voice as a tribute. We don't know for sure, but Snizzard was never one that I really remembered, so I don't know why they picked that one if Bryan Cranston's not coming back. Hopefully he will. We see the Robo Mighty Minotaur, voiced by Tom Weiner, who is not a name probably most people know, but he is a very, very successful voice actor. He did voices for Power Rangers for the first 10 years, and he didn't stop until the Disney took over Power Rangers and they let him go. So he was in it a really, really long time. I would love to go through and list all the different voices he did, but there are so many, it's just going to take too long. Countless voices for Power Rangers. He did VR Troopers. He also did some writing. He did a couple of episodes, Green with Evil Part 3, The Rescue, and Calamity Kimberly. He also voiced Devimon in Digimon, and he was also the narrator for that show as well. And he's done over 250 audiobooks. If you go on his IMDb, you'll see countless shows he's done voices for. We get a shot of Adam and Aisha, of course, with the SPA badges, which a lot of us know is kind of like a tribute to SPD. I don't know if they're going to connect this timeline to the actual SPD timeline, because the SPD timeline has Earth being inhabited by tons and tons of aliens, kind of like a Star Wars world. So I don't know if they're going to do that, because I would pigeonhole them into having to always have aliens around, which is a lot more expensive for a show to do. Maybe they would decide to do seasons that were in other dimensions that we already have established, like the Dino Charge dimension, where there's dinosaurs that exist. They're still alive in that dimension. It'd be cool if they did something like that. I hope they're thinking through this and they're not just kind of jumping the gun on it. One thing I did not expect at all was to see Zach and Rocky teleport into the juice bar and fight the putties. That is so cool. Zach looks super pissed that they're at his old hangout place, but this leads me to believe that Rita was successful and went back in time, and they followed her through time, because the juice bar was taken over by Lieutenant Stone during In Space. Adele took it over and she changed a lot of it. It looks very, very traditional to the way Ernie had it, so I think maybe they did go back in time. We see a shot of Rocky jumping and catching somebody, and I wonder if maybe this is one of the Rangers when they were young and they're in the past and they're trying to save them from the attack from Rita. All right, the Zords, I'm just going to be honest, they do look more anatomically correct for forming the Megazord, I think, because it's always a mystery. They have these big giant bulky Zords, and then they become a leg, and all of a sudden they're real scrawny, so I think it makes more sense for that. They look kind of weird to me, and I'm not really a big fan of it. The Megazord, does Power Rangers have the budget to do like great CGI? I don't think we've ever had a history of having amazing CGI, so it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to be mad. I kind of like the traditional suits. They just look great. They film them really well. The recent season Dino Fury, they use the suits all the time for the Zords, and they look amazing. They film it so well. They get really good shots from underneath. It looks like they're gigantic. It's really great. I don't really like the CGI Megazord personally, but that's just me. And then, of course, I already talked about Min and Zach at the very end, but she's in the command center, which raises a few questions. No one can go into the command center without a power coin. Of course, they teleport people in all the time, so maybe she doesn't, but I wonder if maybe she got the power coin, somehow got it from her dad or from somebody and teleported in herself. I wonder. I didn't go into this thinking I was going to have a big conspiracy theory about this. If this isn't the fact, I think it would have been a really good idea. This command center is on Aquitar, where Billy resides. First of all, it's on the coastline, right there by the ocean, which to me seems like, you'd have some boat traffic. There would definitely be lots of times where people would see it. I think maybe Aquitar, being a planet that's covered in water, maybe there's a few locations in Aquitar that actually have a mountain or something that pokes up just above the water. And I wonder if Billy maybe established this place because, of course, he doesn't live underwater as a human being, so maybe he made this place so he could have his own command center, and he used that to help Rangers all around the galaxy. I wonder if that's what he did, especially when you see the base, it's decorated with a solar system, and I think they've never really seen that before, and I wonder if that means it's not on Earth, it's actually out in space somewhere, maybe on Aquitar. Now, the character of Billy, of course, ended up on Aquitar because David Yost ended up walking off the show after being harassed by crew members, which is definitely a very sad story, but the way they wrote him off is they had Billy rapidly age due to the fact that he was the only one who used a machine to age himself up without a Zeo crystal. Aquitar was the only place he could get treatment, and there was Cestria was the one who came and helped Billy, and she was an Aquitarian, but she was not an alien ranger, and he fell in love with her. So when he went over there, he decided to stay there. And after all this time, we've never had any other explanation of Billy coming back to Earth or anything like that. So it would lead me to believe that maybe this command center was made by him on Aquitar, right on the one mountain range that pokes above the water. Maybe Billy is one of the people helping the SPA get started. And also we have Alpha 5. Alpha 5 has not appeared in Power Rangers since Power Rangers Turbo, I believe. I don't even think he was in space. Ever since then, we've always had Alpha 6 or we've had an Alpha 7. It's always been a mystery. What happened to Alpha? Was he captured when Zordon was captured and destroyed? But now we have Alpha 5. It looks like he's at this command center, so I wonder if Alpha 5's been on Aquitar with Billy the whole time. That's my theory. Tell me what you think of it. I would love to hear what you guys are thinking of this special. I'm super pumped, man. We're less than a month away. This is so exciting. And I'm going to try to stay as spoiler-free as I can. Thank you to people who asked for this video, guys. Thank you so much. Again, I have that Charlie Kirsch video. If you want to learn more about her, she is amazing. I really recommend watching that one and checking her out. She's great. Thank you guys so much. Have a great one. Bye. Boom.